On October 7th, we saw an attack from Hamas on Israel. And following this, we saw a complete over-exaggeration of the number of deaths and the manner in which those deaths occurred. And one of the individuals who thought he would get involved and talk to one of his new buddies, Netanyahu, was of course Jordan Peterson.
What do you mean do? What do you mean you? What do you mean believe? And what do you mean God?
Jordan Peterson, being somebody who claims to be a bastion of mental health, has infamously tweeted, "Give him hell, Netanyahu." And it's safe to say that Netanyahu heeded that advice from Dr. Jordan Peterson. Because since then, we've now seen over 21,000 deaths in Gaza of innocent men, women, and children. And if we look at just the number of deaths of children, we can see over 8,000. That's right, 8,000 children have been killed in around 11 weeks. By far, the greatest number of deaths per day of any conflict in recent history. One of the other individuals who is well known to be a complete out and out Zionist, someone who makes no bones about it, somebody who doesn't try to hide this fact, is of course Santa's little helper, the dwarf known as Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, you've got Moses splitting the sea and all that.
This vile excuse of a human being is constantly seen warmongering and justifying the brutality of the Israeli government on the Palestinian people. But of course, for every supervillain, there are superheroes. And one of the heroes that many look up to is, of course, our brother Andrew Tate. And today, Andrew Tate has hit back at Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson. Today, he tweeted saying, "Imagine being Ben or Jordan and not even saying sorry for encouraging the murder of children." And to be fair, I think for Ben Shapiro, we know that that's not a position that he will ever take. This is an individual who would never shed one tear or lose 1 second of sleep over the death of any Palestinian. But for the case of Jordan Peterson, this is a man who, in all honesty, has no moral or ethical reason to side with Israel or the Zionist government, other than the fact that his pockets are being lined by organizations like the Daily Wire, run by said dwarf Ben Shapiro. And of course, we've all seen the video of Jordan Peterson walking around the Al-Aqsa compound, so it's clear to see that this individual is an insecure little man who found a new friend in this modern day Hitler. So we salute Andrew Tate for using his platform to raise this awareness, and of course we saw how he handled the criminal that is Piers Morgan. One thing that I found interesting was an individual responded to Andrew Tate's tweet, who was in fact Jordan Peterson's daughter, Michaela Peterson, who is known to have had a previous relationship or friendship with Andrew Tate in the past, who responded by saying, "Anybody with a half brain knew that dad was referring to Hamas, a terrorist organization, not Palestinian children. Anybody not paying attention to the rampant anti-Semitism that's occurring across the West is part of the problem. We can see who would have been the Nazis now." I mean, this is literally pot calling the kettle black time. So she says, "Anybody with a half brain knew that dad was referring to Hamas." So when he said, "Give him hell, Netanyahu," was he saying give Hamas hell, Netanyahu? No. He said, and he meant, give the Palestinians hell, Netanyahu. From this, she then diverts and shifts to talk about anti-Semitism. And it's like, where did that come from? Have you not seen Islamophobia? Do you not care about Islamophobia at all, Michaela? All you seem to care about is anti-Semitism that is aimed at Zionists. And the two are not the same. Anybody who criticizes Zionism is not criticizing Judaism or Jewish people. And of course, we can see this when you look through history. For hundreds of years, the Jewish people have lived safely, happily, and have prospered in Muslim lands. So, nice try, Michaela. However, your dad is a warmonger. That might not be a nice thing for you to hear, but it is what it is. Tell your dad to fix up and apologize for what he said and showing his support to this brutal genocide that we are seeing.